Okay, continuing on with the series. Let's read the law together. Deuteronomy chapter 20. And these are the laws of war. Starting at verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and a people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. All right, so here Yahweh is telling his people, Israel, not to fear, to trust in him, no matter what the odds look like. And here's a picture of a pretty big army here. So if you can imagine going up against a huge army, but it doesn't matter how big that army is, right? It could be 1,000,000 people against one. It doesn't matter. When Yahweh is with you, you're supposed to go out without fear. Moving on to verse 2. And it shall be when ye are come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your hearts faint, fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you, to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. Now, if God is fighting your battles for you, who can stand against Yahweh? No one can. Yahweh, God of Israel, is undefeated from now and forever. Verse 5. And the officers shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that hath built a new house, and hath not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. And what man is he that hath planted a vineyard, and hath not eaten of it? Let him also go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. And what man is there that hath betrothed a wife, and hath not taken her? Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man take her. All right, so the purpose of these last few verses is that Yahweh can't have fear in his congregation when they're going out to war. Because once that fear gets into the congregation, it's going to spread. So all these Israelites that have the excuse, let them take their excuse and let them come out of the host, as not to poison the host with their fear. So he that has an excuse, take your excuse. But let the men who are brave, trusting in Yahweh, let those men go to war, full of faith, and let Yahweh bring them victory. Okay, and here's a picture here of a brave warrior, brave Israelite warrior, going to battle, going to war against his enemy in all faith, in all courage in Yahweh. Continuing on, verse 8. And the officers shall speak further unto the people, and they shall say, What man is there that is fearful and faint-hearted? Let him go and return unto his house, lest his brethren's heart faint, as well as his heart. And it shall be, when the officers have made an end of speaking unto the people, that they shall make captains of the armies to lead the people. Okay, so after they have gathered all those who are faithful to go to war for Yahweh, then of those people, they're going to make captains of the army. Okay, so here we have a high-ranking Israelite making captain here. Let's just, although this is not officially what this drawing is about, it looks like though is there is some honor being bestowed here, and let's say that he's making a captain for the host. Moving on to verse 10. When thou comest nigh unto a city to fight against it, then proclaim peace unto it. And it shall be, if it make thee answer of peace and open unto thee, then it shall be that all the people that is found therein shall be tributaries unto thee, and they shall serve thee. Okay, so this is a law basically saying that when you go out to war, first you're going to give them a chance to be peaceable unto Israel. And if they will be peaceable unto you, they will submit unto you and voluntarily enter into servitude. Okay. Verse 12, and if it will make no peace with thee, but will make war against thee, thou shalt besiege it. Okay. And that word besiege here, it means to surround. So if you make an offer of peace against this city that you're going to go to war with, they refuse it. They want to go to war instead of submitting to Israel through servitude. Then the law is that you're supposed to surround that city. Okay? And when the Lord thy God hath delivered it into thine hands, thou shalt smite every male thereof with the edge of the sword. Okay, so when that city is delivered into the hands, that all the males have to die, right? Because they wouldn't submit, but they chose war instead. Verse 14, but the women and the little ones and all the cattle and all that is in the city, even all the spoil thereof, shalt thou take unto thyself, and thou shalt eat the spoil of thine enemies, which the Lord thy God hath given thee. Okay, so all the men are to die, but the women and the children and the cattle of the city, everything that's worth anything. This is talking about clothing, talking about the valuables such as jewelry, gold, silver, those type of things. Okay, those are the spoils of war and is lawful for the Israelites to take of that conquered city. Verse 15. Thus shalt thou do unto all the cities which are very far off from thee, which are not of the cities of these nations. So it's saying, okay, look, these are the rules of war pertaining to all the cities other than the cities of the Canaanites. The city, the city of the Canaanites is which the God of the Israelites commanded them to dispossess the inhabitants thereof. So they are to destroy the Canaanites, period. And that previous law, which we just discussed, this has nothing to do with Canaan. It's for everyone else. Moving on. Verse 16. But of the cities of these people, which the Lord thy God doth give thee for an inheritance, talking about Canaan, thou shalt save nothing that breatheth. Everything's supposed to die. So this means women, children, men, cattle, dogs, anything that breathes, it's over for them. This is a commandment of Yahweh. But thou shalt utterly destroy them, namely the Hittites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, as the Lord thy God hath commanded thee. Right? And there's a reason for this, that they teach you not to do after all their abominations, which they have done unto their gods. So should ye sin against the Lord your God. Why? Don't leave any of them alive to teach you how to rebel against your God. Wipe them all out as to not have a negative influence on the way that you worship Yahweh. Verse 19, when thou shalt besiege a city a long time in making war against it to take it, thou shalt not destroy the trees thereof by forcing the axe against them. For thou mayest eat of them, and thou shalt not cut them down, for the tree of the field is man's life, to employ them in the siege. Okay, so all the trees that are fruit trees, that are fruit-bearing trees, bearing edible fruit, you're supposed to leave those, but any uh, uh, and not supposed to put an axe to them to build the battlements, right? Verse 20, only the trees which thou knowest that they be not trees for meat, in other words, trees not for food, thou shalt destroy and cut them down, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued. Okay, so here is an example of, say, the people that did surrender and or that were, I'm sorry, that were the males were killed, and the only thing that was left over was the female and the children, right? And then they were to be used as servants. Okay, and then here's a screenshot of the battlements that it was talking about, specifically the bulwarks. It says, and thou shalt build bulwarks against the city that maketh war with thee until it be subdued. Okay, so this here is an example of a bulwark, right? So you see here you have the city wall. So in order to enter into that city, right, when you have surrounded it, when you have besieged it, then you are going to make bulwarks of those trees that aren't good for food, and you're going to build bulwarks. And the bulwarks basically allow you to scale over that wall and to enter into the city and to capture it. Okay, and that is it for Deuteronomy 20. I'd like to leave you with a verse from John 4 and 24. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shua.